Hello everyone, and welcome back to Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic. So, we escaped the Paragus mining facility last time, and yeah, we've got a total of 4 party members now, myself included, of course. There's Aton, T3M4, and that Kreia woman, who, according to Aton, was really... security system? Yeah, let's just... I don't want to look at anyone right now. Wait, is there a... Oh, there's showers somewhere in the... Sorry. Just my little joke. You will excuse a dying man. Low security door. I see damaged HK unit. Or a damaged HK unit. I don't... That looks like HK-47, actually. He's got a different color. Yeah, a number of critical parts appear to be missing. Okay, apparently I can diagnose the droid. It's missing a processor, a chassis, a control cluster, and the vocabulator. Apparently I have a vocabulator. Okay, so I'm going to suspect that I need to find the other 3 components in various places in order to restore this HK unit to functionality. I know it's possible to restore it because there's a particularly funny little side thing that you can do with that HK unit, which is HK-47, once he's restored. So I will be attempting to do that. But firstly, okay, that's the exit. I don't want to leave the place right... Wait, what? This is the cargo hold, right? This is where the workbench is. Is there anything I can upgrade? I don't think there is. Yeah, okay. Let's just stop this and, you know, continue another time. This is one of the crew quarters, but it's not the one Kreia is in, okay. And apparently, according to Aton anyway, she's in a lot of pain and just trying not to show it because she wants to impress me. There's T3M4 sort of working away to keep this thing in a state of functionality, which is good. Here's a cargo hold, which is now pretty much empty. I don't know why the camera keeps doing that. It keeps going this way when I move. I don't quite know why. I should probably stop using the mouse while I'm moving. And there's Kreia. So Aton says you're in a bit of a pickle. Well, you lost your hand, so let's talk.
Have you come for more answers? There is little more left to give.
Your hand. Is there anything I can do?
This wound is a physical thing and will fade with time. It was necessary. Some things may only be learned from sacrifice.
If I felt the loss of your hand, what would have happened if you had died?
I do not know. I fear that the consequences would have been more extreme.
More extreme? I felt like my hand was dipped in molten carbonite.
Then the sensation you would feel upon my death might be less than that, though much quicker.
Are you saying my life is tied to yours?
Possibly, yes, and I fear it works both ways. I would not wish to test it, nor should you.
I wonder if this will happen in combat. If one of us goes down, the other one goes with. No, I will not be an evil person. What can we do? I don't want my actions to place you at risk.
When battle is upon us, I suspect our minds are prepared enough to shield each other from the pain. I think we shall not have a repeat incident of what happened at Paragus.
Okay, so that's the game telling me that, you know, it's actually just a story thing. It won't have an effect on gameplay. Fair enough. I've never heard of a link like this before, in Holocrons or in the Jedi histories.
I confess its nature eludes me as well, but the bond is strong, and its roots run deep. It seems the Force flows easily between us. When one of us manipulates the Force to heal or strengthen ourselves, the other is aided as well.
Is that the game telling me that I will get positive advantages in combat anyway? Never mind. I'll try to cut the complaining. Yes, we possess the Force Chain special ability. When either of you uses a Force power on yourself, the other gains the benefit as well. Fair enough, so we can shield the bad bits of the connection, but the good bits still happen. That's interesting to know. It also means that I don't really need to focus on improving her buffing abilities that much, because if I use the buff that only affects myself, I would usually need to also use it on her, you know, like the speed bonus and such, but apparently that's not the case, so that's good.
A powerful technique indeed, though, as we have noticed, it has its drawbacks.
Okay, can you tell me what has happened since the Mandalorian Wars? Now, the Mandalorian Wars, from what I gather from the first game, the Mandalorians kind of attacked, and there really wasn't much anyone could do until Revenant Malak sort of led a fleet, Republic fleet, something to defeat the Mandalorians. And then Revenant Malak sort of became evil. And then that's kind of the pre-story of the first game. And then in the first game, it turned out that Revan had actually pretty much almost died and had been... his mind had been changed by the Jedi, so he actually became the player character. And he became a somewhat nice person. Or at least he became a... he stopped being quite as evil as he had been. And then depending on how you play him, he either becomes a real saint or still fairly evil, but at least no longer bent on destroying the universe. Or rather, dominating it, I guess. And so, what I gathered from the first game was that at the end of the first game, Malak had died at the hands of Revan. And Revan, at least in the way I played it, had become the super good guy. And now apparently it's all gone... well, trying to cut down on my swearing, so it's not gone very well since then. So let's ask what exactly happened.
Much has happened in the galaxy in your absence, and since the defeat of the Mandalorians at Malachor 5.
I want to know about Revan and Malak.
As you know, Revan and Malak went to war against the Mandalorians, and you followed under Revan's banner. As Revan and Malak fought the Mandalorians in battle after battle, they grew to despise weakness, just as the Mandalorians did. In the end, the Mandalorians had taught them through conflict, shaped the Jedi, and turned them into a weapon against the Republic.
So from that I gather that I'm actually not the same protagonist as from the first game. Or she's not telling me the whole truth, and I actually am, but, you know, it's once again the exact same plot point of the game not wanting, people not wanting to tell me that I'm actually Revan. It might still be. I really don't know. What happened next?
Revan and Malak, and all the Jedi that served them, turned against the Republic and the Jedi Order. Jedi fought Jedi. Revan was ambushed by the Jedi and captured. Malak continued to wage war in his master's place, inflicting terrible wounds on the Republic. Wounds that bleed still.
So what happened to Malak?
As all Sith do without a strong enemy, the Sith turned on each other. Revan escaped the Jedi and returned to finish Malak, and that was the end of the Jedi Civil War.
That's not what happened, okay? It just isn't. I think she's lying to me, because she wants to turn this into a kind of lesson, maybe? Because what happened is Revan joined the Jedi and returned to finish Malak, not escaped. They knew very well that that they were releasing me from captivity after they'd, you know, done the thing to my head so that I wasn't evil anymore. Interesting. So what happened to Revan?
After defeating Malak, Revan left the Republic, and there are none who know where he has gone. It is said that the Sith remnants turned on themselves after Revan defeated Malak, reducing Korriban to ruin as the Republic still bleeds and struggles for life. Where Revan wanders now, I do not know.
I am still going to say that I am Revan. It is... I just get that feeling that she's not being entirely honest with me. So Revan turned against Malak for the sake of the Republic?
It would seem that way from a certain point of view, perhaps. The Jedi Civil War left wounds that have yet to heal. We shall see if the Republic has the strength to survive.
Okay. Let's go with the first option. Then we must do what we can until it has a chance to recover from the war.
A culture's teachings, and most importantly the nature of its people, achieve definition in conflict. They find themselves or find themselves lacking. Too long did the Republic remain unchallenged. It is a stagnant beast that labors for breath and has for centuries. The Jedi Order was the heart that sustained its sickness. Now the Jedi are lost. We shall see how long the Republic can survive.
So, I can tell you're a bit of a cynic. Not going to be my love interest, I can tell you that much. Yeah, perhaps it is better the Republic stands on its own. I'm not sure. Is that evil? It doesn't sound evil.
We shall see. The Jedi Civil War cost the Republic much. The resources of the Sith seemed limitless. The Republic's was not. Fleets of warships, soldiers, and people were lost. Entire planets were decimated. Their inhabitants dead or refugees. It is a great burden for any civilization to bear. And this new threat, it is a quiet thing. Unlike the Jedi Civil War, it drives at something deeper than the strength of the Republic. It is aimed at you.
What? Because I'm the last Jedi?
The Republic was never what was important, ever. It was but a shell that surrounds the Jedi, just as the teachings of the Jedi are a shell surrounding the heart of man. You see, the war, the true war, has never been one waged by droids or warships or soldiers. They are but crude matter, obstacles against which we test ourselves. The true war is waged in the hearts of all living things, against our own natures, light or dark. That is what shapes and binds this galaxy, not these creations of man. You are the battleground, and if you fall, the death of the Republic will be such a quiet thing, a whisper, that shall herald the darkness to come.
This is a lot to take in at once. I need time to reflect on this. No, actually, let's see if there's other questions I can ask.
Ask, and I will answer.
Of course. You appear to be very interested in me for reasons. I am still going to go ahead and guess that I am Revan. Just still. Okay, when we were on Paragus, I could feel the Force again.
Indeed. And was it the same as before?
No, it felt different. Faint.
If my suspicions are correct, perhaps the damage the Jedi Council did was not as permanent as they thought. It is not an easy thing to cut one off from the Force.
Wait, the Jedi did this to me?
What did you believe? That you suddenly lost your connection with the Force without reason?
Yes, but to cut one off from the Force, it's like losing all of your senses at once.
Indeed it is. It is much like losing one's ability to listen, or being put into a deep sleep, unable to awaken to the galaxy around you. Such a thing has been done before, when Jedi have pronounced sentence on their own, and exiled them as they did you.
So wait, I saved the galaxy for them, and afterwards they took away my Force ability and kicked me out? Unless I did something really nasty afterwards. That doesn't seem fair. Well, then there must be a way to reverse what they did.
It is possible that such a thing can be undone. Still, even so, the chances of the Jedi undoing such a thing for a traitor is a slim thing at best, assuming they yet live.
But I can feel it again, so maybe it'll just come back on its own?
Our link may have had other consequences. Perhaps you can hear the Force again, distantly, through me. If so, then there is hope. I may be able to teach you, train you to feel the Force again. And if you will not allow me to help you, then other Jedi must train you, or undo the damage they have done.
I will honor whatever training you wish to give me.
Do not honor me, fallen Jedi. Honor it by listening and learning. Do that, and perhaps we shall survive this thing, you and I. I offer to train you to become strong again, to know the ways of the Force, and to hear the Force sing within you as it once did.
By the way, I apologize again for, well, not again. I apologize for this being a very talky episode. This is a fairly old school RPG. It's, I think it's pretty much 10 years old by now. They were not really the action-packed games that, you know, you've come to expect from RPGs these days. This is not a Skyrim kind of game, or a Dark Souls kind of game. There's a lot of talking and character development, which is what an RPG really... You know, it's a role-playing game that allows you to play a role, and old-school RPGs gave you, in some ways, more options to do that. You know, they didn't focus so much on the combat system. The combat really was just a way to get experience and items to you. Whereas if you look at a game like Skyrim, it's fairly heavily combat focused, it tries not to be boring. The dialogues aren't as important, and you will not spend half an hour talking to someone, but you will definitely spend half an hour, you know, raiding a castle, stuff like that. So combat is more important. And then there's games like Dark Souls, or, well, there aren't very many games like Dark Souls actually, but Dark Souls is an example of sort of a different kind of RPG where there's barely any dialogue, and the combat is incredibly important. Dark Souls is a very heavily combat-focused game, and so the role-playing really has to come from you, where because your own character is silent and never speaks, you control his actions, so you actually are able to play his role. And if you are role-playing as a nice guy, you can decide not to kill people and such, or if you're role-playing as a sort of greedy guy, you can kill anyone for their loot. If you're playing as a mad evil guy, you can just kill everyone for fun, stuff like that. This game really will have a lot of talking and not so much action in it. It's somewhat similar to Divinity Original Sin in that way, which, if you want, you can also see on my channel. Shameless self-advertisement. In the sense that there is a bunch of talking. There's also a lot of combat, but it's sort of... I guess it's not equally balanced. There's going to be some episodes which will be heavily, you know, talk to everyone and, you know, find out stuff, get quests, all that. And then there's going to be episodes of go out into the, you know, explorable areas and fight and gather stuff. And I feel that this game will be somewhat similar. So Divinity Original Sin is actually a very much a throwback to older RPGs. It's not really something you get from RPGs these days, which very often end up being heavily combat games, combat focused, and less of an actual RPG, and moving more into the action part of the genre, I guess. So yeah, I just spoke 3 minutes about the fact that I speak so much, or 4 minutes rather. Sorry about that again. I would welcome whatever aid you offer.
Then our training shall begin. Whenever I travel with you, I shall impart what I can to you through my words and presence.
Okay, I have other questions.
Ask, and I will answer.
Yes, thank you. I need to know more about the Sith hunting us.
These Sith, they seek the death of all Jedi, as have all the Sith, since the Jedi Order was first split.
So first split. We kind of know this, but let's have her tell us anyway.
Yes. The Jedi Civil War is not the first one of its kind. Thousands of years ago, the Jedi had another civil war that split the Order. It was a terrible thing. A faction among the Jedi abandoned the teachings of the Order, following their own path. They waged war on their fellow Jedi, a war that raged across the galaxy. But these fallen Jedi were cast out, defeated, and they retreated to worlds in the Outer Rim. Over time, they took on the mantle of the Lords of the Sith, but in their hearts they never forgot the Jedi. The hatred for the Jedi Order burns in their veins like fire and echoes in their teachings. Revan tasted it, as Malak did.
But these Sith seem different.
In a manner of speaking, they are different from Malak in that they are concerned only with the destruction of the Jedi. For them, it is all that matters, all that ever mattered. It is a different war these Sith wage, a thing of silence and shadow. They strike from the darkness, hiding from the face of the galaxy until all Jedi are exterminated. After all the Jedi are gone, then the galaxy is theirs, no matter whether the Sith or the Republic rules. It is the dark side that shall reign, unchecked.
Okay, I've never seen Sith assassins like those on the Harbinger.
I believe them to be the result of special teachings. Their apparent weakness against you is evidence of this. Those Sith assassins can sense their prey through the Force. It is like a hunger. They feed and grow stronger when they are near Force sensitives. The stronger their prey is in the Force, the deadlier they become. As long as you were cut off from it, you were able to evade their sight. But after Paragus, I fear that you will be no longer shielded from their eyes, or the eyes of their masters. The stronger you grow, the more will come.
Yeah, that's okay. I think I had one more question.
Ask, and I will answer.
So what do we do now?
I do not know. The Sith struck more swiftly than I thought, and they will not stop until they have you in their grasp. If you fall, all the galaxy will echo it.
Okay, so apparently I am the most important person alive, ever. Is there any place where we can retreat to?
It does not matter where we go. It is not the destination that matters. It is the journey. All paths will take us to the end, whatever it may be, and no matter how strongly we fight against it. For now, we are bound for Telos, and that is enough.
Really? She literally, in her last sentence, told me where we're going, and I can ask where we're going. Enough for what?
Before the war, Jedi who failed their training were sent to the fields of Telos to serve the galaxy, not as Jedi Knights, but as farmers and laborers. The destruction of Telos was complete. I doubt any Jedi remain. Yet there may be echoes of their passing. We shall see.
And if we find no trace of Jedi teaching on Telos to help us,
then I am left with nothing more than we had already. My faith in you and your ability to meet what comes.
Okay. This is a lot to take in at once. I need time to reflect on this.
I would see to that fool in the cockpit and remind him of our destination. I would not want him attempting to veer from Telos.
Yeah, that fool has a name. I'd like you to start using it.
He is a fool and an imbecile. His potential lies downwards, not up. Watch that one. His thoughts are slippery. I do not trust him, and nor should you. Such a man serves himself first, and his allies next.
Then all he needs... Oh, I apparently gained influence over her. That's nice. It is a common misbelief that helping others and being altruistic will never help yourself. Wow, I'm getting to be pretty good, actually. Wow. When in fact there's no reason to believe that. In most cases, being kind to others is also the most advantageous path for you. Because in reality, without, what goes around comes around. If you're nice to others, they'll in turn likely be nice to you. So as long as you don't behave foolishly and become exploited by others, it is good to be nice, because in the end it'll be to your advantage as well. So being selfish doesn't mean you have to be nasty to others. I've mentioned this before in another video, but the most successful strategy is something called tit for tat, which means basically you start off being nice to everyone, and if they're nice back to you, you basically mirror their behavior. If they're nice, you're nice, and if they, after you were initially nice, were nasty to you, then you get nasty. So you basically, whatever behavior they have displayed last, that's the one you mirror. And I kind of want to go on a tangent here. There's something called the prisoner's dilemma, basically. The point is, two prisoners are sort of taken out for questioning individually. They don't know they know the other one is being questioned, but they don't know what he's saying. Essentially, they've got no way of communication. And they can choose to either both say nothing, which would be sort of the best outcome for them. So if they both say the other guy didn't do anything, because something happened, whatever, they both say nothing happened, then they both get out without punishment, because, there's no evidence that either of them were guilty. If one of them says the other guy did it, and that other guy doesn't say anything, so he says the other guy's innocent, whereas the other guy says that guy's guilty, then the one who ratted out his friend won't get any punishment, and the one who was ratted out gets a fairly steep punishment. Let's say, 5 days of solitary confinement, whatever. And if they both rat out each other, so they both blame the other one, then they both get a medium punishment, because apparently either one of them is lying. So the best outcome would obviously be if they both say nothing. But because they've got no way of communicating, that's also the option that carries the highest risk. Because if the other guy is cheating, or is ratting them out, essentially, then the other guy will get nothing, no punishment at all, and they will get the steepest punishment possible. So this was originally basically the idea, and it was formed into a kind of game that had certain rules. Basically, two players would, without the other one seeing their decision, make the decision to, be nice or not nice. And depending on, if one of them said nice and the other not nice, then the not nice guy would get a bunch of points. If both of them said nice, they would both get points. And if they both said not nice, they both get a small amount of points. So again, the best outcome in total would be for everyone to always be nice. Which, it's sort of it somewhat reflects what reality is like, I guess. If everyone's being nasty, they all and always looking to his own advantage only, then they will get small rewards from that, but not very much. If one guy is being nice and the other one exploits that niceness mindlessly, then the guy who's doing the exploiting will get a bunch of reward from that, because he basically reaps all the rewards that the other guy is creating as well, whereas the guy that's being nice doesn't get anything because he gets exploited. However, if they're both nice and cooperating, then in the end they will advance further, which is what reality is like. And it has been found out that in that setting, which I believe it somewhat closely models society, the best option is to basically do what I just described. Start off being nice and then mirror what the other guy did last. And so they basically set out this game and told people, design an algorithm that decides what action to choose. What to do. And in the first round, someone basically came up with that tit-for-tat algorithm, and it won. They played these games, they simulated these games on a computer, 1,000 rounds or whatever, and tit-for-tat simply came out with the most points. And so they published those results and said, okay, so this tit-for-tat one is the best algorithm there is. And then they went back and said, okay, now design again. Come up with an algorithm that can beat tit-for-tat. And again, they took all the results that came in and played them against each other, and tit-for-tat won again. So even knowing that it had been the best strategy in the past, no one was able to devise any system that was better. Yeah, kind of a long tangent, I know, and expect this to not be an action-packed episode, which you already know because there's only a few minutes left. Anyway, let's talk to Atom.
How's our passenger? She's still aging?
Yeah, she seems fine, just needs some rest.
Well, she sure could use it. It might do wonders for her mood, too. She's lucky she's a Jedi. or someone would have killed her years ago. I mean, how old do you think she is? She may have been good-looking once, but it takes some hard living to make creases like that.
You do realize you're typing or pushing buttons in the air, right? Hard living?
Yeah. Her face looks like it was plowed by crazed Ord Mantell farmers. Don't tell me you were too distracted by her personality to notice.
Yeah, let's try to get these guys to get along. Look, ease off the insults. She was wounded helping us escape, remember?
Whoa, all right. Don't get mad at me. Hey, I didn't ask her to stay behind and get her hand cut off, okay? I mean, I appreciate what she did and all, but she could stand to lay off the insults herself, you know?
Getting empathy from you is like squeezing water from a stone. I don't think he will end up liking me.
Yeah? Well, how much water you get from a stone depends what planet you're on.
Forget it. Just keep your mind on piloting this crate.
You call this piloting? This is nothing. If Paragus had any place other than Telos in its astrogation charts, trust me, that's where we'd be headed.
Well, if you thought Paragus was dead, then Telos is a dying world they're trying to breathe back to life. Should be there before too long. You can check our course on the galaxy map if you want. It's on the wall behind you.
Alright, I'll do that.
So, what happened?
What are you talking about?
Don't give me that. There were plenty of times back on Paragus where a lightsaber would have been helpful. So where's yours?
Exiles aren't allowed to keep their lightsabers.
Oh yeah? I thought a Jedi was supposed to be married to their lightsaber. Guess I heard wrong. Were you a single hilt or one of those double-bladed Jedi?
It was a single hilt.
Huh. Figures. It wasn't red, was it?
Yeah. I guess Blade and Crystal were unique in the first game, so yeah, I'll go with that. I did use a unique colored lightsaber, I think.
Yeah? Unique how?
Did I use a violet or I think I used violet. Wasn't used. It wasn't blue. I don't think it was green. No, I gave the green one to what was his name? The Jedi from Kashyyyk. I forgot. Anyway, I think he got the green ones. I don't think it was yellow either. I mean, for the most part, I actually used that vibroblade thing that I got from where was it? I think from the from that outpost, that station where you could buy the very best equipment. I think that's what I used for the most part. But I think I used a violet blade. I might be wrong, but I'll go with it anyway. Violet, like hurricane gems in the sunset.
Must have been something. Sure be nice to have it now. Might make those Sith think twice before coming after us.
I think having it would just drive them to hunt me harder.
Alright, forget I said anything. Like I said before, you can check our course on the galaxy map if you want. It's on the wall behind you.
I don't think he liked that. Anyway, it's been an episode. I know I just did a bunch of talking and not very much interesting stuff happened, but you know character development is important, and I might make a note in the description, if I remember, that this is a talky episode, so if you want you can always skip it. I hope you enjoyed it anyway. I mean, I find these things quite interesting, and you know character development is important in an RPG, but still, I hope I haven't driven you away completely, and I guess I'll be seeing you again next time. Bye bye.